everyone, thank you for tuning into She Roams Free. How are you guys doing today? When people think about working in Thailand, the first thing that comes to mind is teaching English or working in hospitality, like your hotels or your resorts. But I want to share something different with you. I recently had a real life interview experience with a company based in Thailand for a role in the tech space. And I'm now in the final stages of the hiring process. In this video, I'll talk about how I found this opportunity, the research I did to find companies hired in Thailand, and the surprising benefits companies offer, and why working abroad, especially in Thailand, could open new doors for your career. If you ever thought about living or working abroad, but didn't know where to start, this video will give you a new perspective. Stay tuned. Let me start with how I found this opportunity. Most people assume you need to teach English to work in Thailand. And teaching is amazing for many people, but it's not the only way to make money here. I wanted to explore options in my own field using skills I built over the years in consulting and business. I started my search on LinkedIn and Indeed. These are powerful tools for finding international jobs if you know how to use them. My strategy was to search for US-based companies that have offices or operations in Thailand. Why? Because they often hire international talent and are familiar with relocating employees from other countries. I spent time refining my LinkedIn profile, making sure my experience and skills and achievements stood out. I also researched companies that align with my background and values. And that's how I found this job opening. Something that matched my experience and gave me the chance to live and work in Thailand while continuing to grow professionally. And the job I found was a specialist job. It is in the tech space, as I mentioned earlier. And for most of you that may have seen my previous videos, I've been working in the tech space for 9 years. And I just so happened to find this opportunity, and I wanted to make sure I create this video to not only share my experience, but also to give you guys insights on other opportunities available. Your teaching and working in a hotel is not your only opportunities. Again, those are great opportunities, but I want you guys to know that there are so many other opportunities outside of than what we're seeing on YouTube or what we're seeing on social media when it comes to living abroad and living in these other countries such as Vietnam and Thailand. So this is the reason why I'm creating this video. So I'm really hoping that this will really open your mind and give you an idea that, hey, maybe I could think about the skills I have now and start researching what other opportunities are available, because there are other opportunities. And I do foresee more of these opportunities coming available in other countries, especially with everything going on with the world. If you're thinking about applying for jobs in Thailand, here's my advice. 1, focus on global companies with local offices. Many US and European and international companies have branches or headquarters in Bangkok or major cities. You want to make sure that you're keeping in mind that you do your research, and just be careful that you're not going to get scammed or something like that. So you want to make sure that you really make sure that these companies are legit. And sometimes on LinkedIn, you may see job posting that may not be legit. So just be careful with that. But the companies that I'm recommending, for example, such as GitHub and Accenture, for example, those companies are legit. And I personally know someone who works at Accenture. Those are just examples. Use LinkedIn filters. You can filter by location, company, and remote or hybrid roles. And again, I'm speaking of the LinkedIn and job in these tools. And make sure you check company websites directly. Again, as I mentioned before, make sure these are legit companies. Sometimes opportunities don't make it to the job boards. So you want to make sure that if you're going on these sites such as LinkedIn or Jobs Indeed, go to the direct source and make sure that the job is one listed there, and also search for other jobs that may not have made it to those Job Indeeds or LinkedIn, for example. I also look for companies with strong reputation for supporting expats. And that's very important because many companies do not support individuals that are based in the US to work internationally. There are some companies like GitHub that allows you to do that, but you want to make sure that you're looking into these companies because the taxation is an issue why some companies do not allow you to work remote. So you want to make sure you clarify that first before you take on an opportunity for a company based in US and you're working internationally. So it's important to do that. It's also important to know their policies on visas and relocation, whether they have experience hiring international talent. For example, the company that I'm currently interviewing with, they offer many different benefits, and one of those benefits is they have experience working with US candidates, and they help you go through the process with getting work visa. So that's one of the benefits that they offer. That's very important because that can be a very long and lengthy process to do on your own. So make sure you're working with a company that has experience in doing that. After I applied, I went through several interview stages. This wasn't just a casual chat, it was an actual real corporate interview process. I had to showcase my experience. I had to showcase problem-solving skills, how I could bring value to the company in Thailand. And I'm now at the final stage of the interview process, and that's why I wanted to share this information with you, because I know there are people out there who think moving abroad means you have to start over or only work in hospitality or teaching, and that's not necessarily true. I'm very passionate about sharing this information because one of the biggest concerns and one of the biggest problem is for people that are preparing to move overseas, or maybe they want to move abroad and they just don't know how, is money. And this is something that has been just a concern of mine for several weeks now. I enjoy the financial space, as you guys know from just watching my previous videos. I can talk about stocks and money management all day long, but how could I add value to people by talking to my viewers about, hey, how could I help them get more exposure to job opportunities in these other countries? And I'm not talking about just jobs. Maybe you don't want to job. Maybe you want to start a business or be an independent contractor. I mean, there are so many different ways of doing this by validating, taking a look into what type of skills you have and turning that to maybe a potential business or being an independent contractor. And there are so many people relocating right now, relocating outside the US to other countries for different reasons. Some people are relocating because maybe they're retired and their money just don't go as far in the US. Or maybe they're in the mid-age and they don't want to work until like they're 60-something years old. Maybe for medical reasons or personal reasons, they need to retire now. And their money could go far in other countries. Or maybe they're young, maybe they just finished high school and they're looking into colleges and they decide they want to go to college abroad. And not everybody is going to have retirement income or income from the military or money from pension or money from stock portfolio. So it was very important that I presented you guys with different options. Again, teaching is great, hospitality is great for hotels, but I wanted to open your mind and let you know that there are other opportunities. I'm not gonna make any guarantees. I can't guarantee anything. I want to make you think and start doing the research and follow what I have done to find this opportunity. Your skills, whether they're in tech, consulting, finance, marketing, or any professional industry, can still open doors abroad. One thing that really surprised me were the benefits companies offer when they hire international talent. For example, this particular company provides work visas for you and your spouse, possibly even for your children. Relocation support, including flights, and even covering the cost of moving your pets. I mean, I was pretty amazed by that. They also provide temporary housing, so you have somewhere to stay while you search for a long-term home. A relocation consultant, someone who can help you get settled, find housing, and adjust to life in Thailand. Now, not every company offers the same benefits, but this shows you that working abroad doesn't have to be overwhelming. Some companies take care of the hard part so that you can focus on your job and settle into your new life. For me, this isn't just about a paycheck. I want to fully embrace the culture, to learn from people in Thailand, and see how business is done in another part of the world. I also want to showcase my skills, everything I learned in my career, so I can make an impact. And hopefully I can inspire others by proving that your career doesn't have to be limited by geographic. Working abroad gives you new perspectives, connections, and experiences that you can't get by staying in your comfort zone. Now, I'm not saying teaching isn't great, because it is, and a lot of people love it, but I want to remind you that there are more ways to make money abroad. If you have corporate experience, professional certifications, or skills in demand, you can find jobs that value your expertise, whether it's in tech, consulting, finance, marketing, or other industries. And with so many remote and hybrid opportunities now, you can even work for a US company while living abroad. My journey isn't over yet. I'm still in the final stages of this interview process. But I wanted to share this story with you because I know someone out there needs to hear it. You don't have to limit yourself to the 9-to-5 grind or stay in one country. If I get this job, I'll share every step of my relocation journey with you. And even if I don't, I'll keep exploring opportunities abroad and sharing what I learned, because I believe there are so many paths to freedom and fulfillment. So tell me something, guys. Tell me in the comments, would you ever work in another country? If so, where would you want to go? All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with someone who's curious about working abroad. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace and love.